Rama Rama Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining this morning, Srimad Bhagavatam class and Untitled Chapter. We'll make a start and a happy Gaura Purnima to you all. It's a wonderful day. And from what I understand, Mahaprabhu, he brought the Srimad Bhagavatam to us as well. So a very important gift that he gave us. So we'll continue with our pastimes of Kardama Manu and Kapiladev. So now Narayan had told Kadamani Manu that he was so pleased with him, and Manu is coming to see him with his daughter and wife, and he should marry the daughter of Manu. So the conversation continues. Manu has arrived at Kadama Muni's ashram, and this is Maitreya Muni explaining to Vidur that after describing the greatness of the emperor's manifold qualities and activities, the sage became silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, addressed him as follows. So Manu arrives, and Kardama Muni greets him and glorifies him, and then he becomes silent to allow emperor to respond. And before we go on to that, we'll do a quick prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Lam Yate Girim Yat Kirpatam Hamvande Shri Guru Dev Taranam Pramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tassat Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatujayam Udiriye Nasta Presham Abadureshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Nestaki. Hare Krishna. So now the emperor glorifies the Brahmins. Manu replied, to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you, the Brahmins, who are full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are averse to sense gratification. So the purpose of the Vedas is to propagate the transcendental knowledge of the absolute truth. The Brahmanas were created from the mouth of the Supreme Person, and therefore they are meant to spread the knowledge of the Vedas in order to spread the glories of the Lord. So if they are made from the mouth of the Supreme Person, then they represent the mouth of the Supreme Person. If you're made from the arms of the Supreme Person, then you represent the arms of the Supreme Person. This is my understanding is on this. And therefore, they are meant to spread the knowledge of the Vedas in order to spread the glories of the Lord. In Bhagavad-Gita, also, Lord Krishna says that all the Vedas are meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the protection of the Brahmins, the thousand-legged Supreme Being created us, the Kshatriyas from his 1,000 arms. Hence, the Brahmins are said to be his heart and the Kshatriyas his arms. So Kshatriyas are specifically meant to maintain the Brahmins, because if the Brahmins are protected, then the head of civilization is protected. Brahmins are supposed to be the head of the social body. If the head is clear and has not gone mad, then everything is in proper position. The Lord is described as Namo Brahmana Devayago Brahmana Hitayacha. So the purport of this prayer is that the Lord specifically protects the Brahmins and the cows, and then he protects all of the members of society, Jagaditaya. It is his will that universal affairs work depends on the protection of cows and Brahmins. So everything should be centered around that, protecting the cows and the Brahmins. Because Brahmanical culture and cow protection are the basic principles for human civilization. Kshatriyas are especially meant to protect the Brahmins, as is the supreme will of the Lord. Go Brahmana Hitayacha. As the heart is a very important part within the body, so the Brahmanas are also the important element in human society. So although the Brahmanas represent the mouth of the Lord, they are actually described as the heart of the body, of the universal body. So the Brahmanas are also the important element in human society. The Kshatriyas are more like the whole body. Even though the whole body is bigger than the heart is more important, because if the heart stops, body becomes useless. That is why the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas protect each other as well as themselves. And the Lord himself, who is both the cause and effect, and yet immutable, protects them from each other, through each other. The entire social structure of Varna and Ashram is cooperative system meant to uplift all to the highest platform of spiritual realization. The Brahmanas are intended to be protected by the Kshatriyas, and the Kshatriyas are also tended to be enlightened by Brahmanas. So one is protecting the body, the other is protecting the soul of the Kshatriyas. When the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas cooperate nicely, the other subordinate divisions, the Vaishyas or mercantile people, and the Shudras or laborer class automatically flourish. The entire elaborate system of Vedic society was therefore based on the importance of the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas. The Lord is a real protector, but he is unattached to the affairs of protection. So the Lord always works through his energies and his representatives, as we have seen. So he creates Brahmanas for the protection of Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas for the protection of Brahmins. He remains aloof from all activities. Therefore, he is called Nirvikar, without activity. He has no work. He has nothing to do. So he is so great that he doesn't perform action personally, but his energies act. The Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas and anything that we see are different energies acting upon one another. So then Manu continues, and he talks about, first now he's talked about the Brahmanas, now he's talking about saintly persons, what it's like to meet a saintly person, what advantages it has to a normal being. Now I have resolved all my doubts simply by meeting you, for your lordship has very kindly and clearly explained the duty of a king who desires to protect his subjects. Manu described here with the result of seeing a great saintly person. Lord Chaitanya says that one should always try to associate with saintly persons, because if one establishes a proper association with a saintly person, even for a moment, one attains all perfection. Somehow or other, if one meets a saintly person and achieves his favor, then the entire mission of one's human life is fulfilled. So this is how powerful it is. In our personal experience, we have actual proof of this statement of Manu. So Prabhupada gives example that once he had the opportunity to meet Vishnupad Srimad Bhakti Santa Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, his guru, and on first sight he requested his humble self to preach this message in the Western countries. So if your guru assigns you a task, then you are the most fortunate. And on first sight he requested this task, and there was no preparation for this, but somehow or other he desired it. And by his grace, we are now engaged in executing his order, which has given us a transcendental occupation and has saved and liberated us from the occupation of material activities. So this is how work in your favor if the spiritual master assigns you something. It is my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by persons who have not subdued the mind or controlled the senses. I am all the more fortunate to have touched with my head the blessed dust of your feet. So the perfection of transcendental life can be achieved simply by touching the holy dust of the lotus feet of a holy man. unless one is fortunate enough to have the dust of the lotus feet of the Mahatma on one's head, there is no possibility of perfection in spiritual life. When Maharaj Rahugun asked Judge Bharat, so this is an example here. So when Maharaj Rahugun asked Judge Bharat about his wonderful achievement of spiritual success, he replied to the king that spiritual success is not possible simply by following the rituals of religion or simply by converting oneself into sannyasi or offering sacrifices as recommended in the scriptures. These methods are undoubtedly helpful for spiritual realization, but the real effect is brought about by the grace of a Mahatma. So a ritual only becomes spiritual when there's some spirituality involved in there, when there's devotion and there's a Mahatma or grace of a Mahatma is involved in it. I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. So Srila explains that Sri Rupa Goswami has given directions in his Bhakti Ras Amrita Sindhu on how to accept a bona fide spiritual master and how to deal with him. So first, the desiring candidate must find a bona fide spiritual master, and then he must very eagerly receive instructions from him and execute them. This is reciprocal service. A bona fide spiritual master or saintly person always desires to elevate a common man who comes to him, because everyone is under the delusion of Maya and is forgetful of his prime duty, Krishna consciousness. A saintly person always desires that everyone become a saintly person. It is a function of a saintly person to invoke Krishna consciousness in every forgetful common man. He just sees that is his duty, he's habitual to help everyone. So this combination, the instruction of the spiritual master and the faithful execution of the instructions by the disciple, makes the entire process perfect. So the spiritual master gives instructions and the disciple follows them, and that is a two-way process. O great sage, graciously be pleased to listen to the prayer of my humble self, for my mind is troubled by affection for my daughter. So when a disciple is perfectly in consonance with his spiritual master, having received his message and executed it perfectly and sincerely, he has a right to ask a particular favor. So it seems here that Manu has become like a disciple of Kardama Manu, and now he's asking a favor from the spiritual master. Generally, a pure devotee of the Lord or a pure disciple of bona fide spiritual master does not ask any favor either from the Lord or the spiritual master. But even if there is a need to ask a favor from the spiritual master, one cannot ask that favor without satisfying him fully. So first deserve, then desire, even whether you're asking from the Lord or the spiritual master. So if you're asking a favor, you must consider that, are you worthy of that favor? Have you done anything to please, whether it's through glorifying prayers or doing some service? Are you in that position to be asking that favor? That generally works all around, even in the material platform. That if you want somebody to do the owe you a favor, should you be asking them this favor? Swayam Bhuva Manu wanted to disclose his mind regarding the function he wanted to execute due to affection for his daughter. So now Manu is going to present his daughter to Kadama Muni, and he's going to just give an introduction about Devhuti, his daughter. My daughter is the sister of Priyavat and Uttanpad. She's seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities. So the grown-up daughter of Asvambha Manu, Devhuti, had good character and is well qualified. Therefore, she was searching for a suitable husband, just befitting her age, qualities, and character. The purpose of Manu's introducing his daughter as the sister of Priyavat and Uttanpad two great kings was to convince the sage that the girl came from a great family. She was his daughter and at the same time the sister of Kshatriyas. She did not come from a lower class family. Manu therefore offered her to Kardama as just suitable for his purpose. The moment she heard from the aged sage Narad of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you. Therefore, please accept her, O chief of the Brahmins, for I offer her with faith, and she is in every respect fit to be your wife and take charge of your household duties. So the household duty of a man is not to satisfy his sense gratification, but to remain with the wife and children, at the same time attain advancement in spiritual life. One who does not do so is not a householder, but a graha medi. Two words are used in Sanskrit literature. One is gresta and the other is grahamedi. The difference between grahamedi and gresta is that grahastha is also an ashram or a spiritual order, like brahmachari and sannyasi. But if one simply satisfies his senses as a householder, then he's not a grahastha, he's a grahamedi. For a grahamedi, to accept a wife means to satisfy the senses. But for a grahastha, a qualified wife is an assistant in every respect for advancement in spiritual activities. It is a duty of the wife to take charge of household affairs and not to compete with the husband. A wife is meant to help, but she cannot help her husband unless he is completely equal to her in age, character, and quality. To deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable, even for one absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to sensual pleasure. So in material life, everyone is desirous of sense gratification. It's just a natural thing. Therefore, a person who gets an object of sense gratification without endeavor should not refuse to accept it. Kardama Muni was not meant for sense gratification, yet he aspired to marry and prayed to the Lord for a suitable wife. This was known to Swayambhuva Manu. He indirectly convinced Kardama Muni, you desire a suitable wife like my daughter, and she is now present before you. You should not reject the fulfillment of your prayer. You should accept my daughter. So Manu is saying that this was your desire, and your desire has been fulfilled without too much running around or asking. Your desire, destiny has brought her to you. So please don't overlook this. At least give you some thought that this will be good for you, because I believe that this is a perfect match. One who rejects an offering, so Manu continues to say, the one who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser, thus loses his widespread reputation, and his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others. So Swayambhuva Manu wanted to convince Kardama Muni, since he knew that sage wanted to marry a suitable girl, I'm offering just such a suitable wife. Don't reject the offer, or else because you are in need of a wife, you will have to ask for such a wife from someone else who may not behave with you so well. In that case, your position will be humbled. So sometimes you could have a rishta, as they say, come and you reject it, and then you go through so many rishtas and nothing seems to work out, and you're sort of looking back and, oh, we should have accepted that rishta, was really good, but then it might be too late. The girl or the boy is married to someone else and you lost the opportunity. So if the opportunity arises and it seems good, then there is like not too much endeavor in thinking about ifs and buts. If it seems good, then it should be accepted. This is what Manu is saying, because opportunity might not knock twice at your door, so take it. Another feature of this incident is that Swayambhuva Manu was the emperor, but he went to offer his qualified daughter to a poor Brahmin. Kardama Muni had no worldly possessions. He was a hermit living in the forest, but he was advanced in culture. Therefore, in offering one's daughter to a person, the culture and the quality are counted as prominent, not wealth or any other material consideration. So the great sage replied, now, after hearing all this from his father-in-law to be, so the great sage now replies, certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore, our marriage according to the Vedic system can take place. So he accepts the offer. There were many considerations by Kadama Muni before accepting the daughter of Sambhava Manu. He said, yes, I shall accept your daughter under religious regulations of marriage. There are different kinds of marriages, of which the first class marriage is held by inviting a suitable bridegroom for the daughter and giving her in charity, well dressed, well decorated the ornaments, along with the dowry according to the means of the father. So they are now engaged to be married, and this is the pastime of Kadama Muni and Devhuti. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining. Rukmani Mataji, Madhav Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Partha Prabhu, Praveen Mataji, and Sarvashya Mataji. Where is everybody else? I think they are fasting today, so they're resting. Thank you so much. Rukmani Mataji, what did you find that stood out for you in this pastime, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very interesting about Kadama Muni, and this last sentence you said, the girl he gave in charity. What does it mean, Prabhuji?
Well, this is how the same Kanya Dan. You know, heard what Kanya Dan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that it's a very auspicious thing to give away a daughter. Is seen as very auspicious, so it's known as Dan in the Vedic sense.
Mm.
Obviously, nowadays, you know, people always think in their own way. But if you look through Vedic, you know, the eyes of the Shastras, then this is how it's described.
Okay.
But it's a good thing. It's not a bad. Not seen as a bad thing. It's seen as a good thing. Your daughter is your asset, right? She is a Lakshmi in your house, and just like you're donating other things, you're sort of donating your daughter, and marrying off a girl is also a very auspicious thing.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yes, but it was in that age, Satyuga and that good yuga. But today is not bothered anything for the wedding. Some girls choose their boyfriend and then they get married. Today's in Kali Yuga is completely different things and different acting about marrying. Few people are old-minded, so they follow all the things, all these things. But otherwise, that was Satyuga. In Satyuga, everything was possible. But it's nature. All God is God's wish, and our karma depends upon all the things. Good, Prabhuji, good. You have given good knowledge. Grahamedi, and first desire and then desire. Good. Thank you, Prabhuji. Nothing to say more.
Thank you so much, Mata. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so it says that Grihastha is not, this is the thing nowadays, and we're all guilty of that we think that marriage is all about sense gratification, just by having children and, you know, leaving your things to them, and then they leave their things to their children. this is just how we see. Even the kings, say, who will I leave my kingdom to? I don't have a son. It's like that. We see in that little tunnel vision. But it says here that Grihastha is a spiritual ashram. It's meant for the husband and wife to work together towards going back to Godhead. That's the, if somebody wants a wife, then they can, this is an option, as well as the sannyas option and other options. So it's one more option to take, but we just see it as a process of sense gratification. This is the thing. And regarding the marriages, I mean, even in the Satyuga and other yugas, this is, Prabhupada says, this is a first-class marriage, where the father takes his daughter and offers her to a suitable candidate husband. But other marriages are also available. They were there. Love marriages were also happening in the yugas, like Rukmani and Krishna, and then the Swambars were happening. The one who has the biggest might, who's the strongest or something, will take the wife. There's many different types of marriages, and these were happening in other yugas as well. But this is considered the first class type of marriage. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, and Parveen Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam to everyone, and happy God Purnima. Yeah, very nice class, nice pastime. And I just want to say to what Mataji said, what my realization is, it's not being like modern or old-fashioned. I think because we have lost, well, myself, because I never read Bhagavatam, and we've lost touch, which is like a shame, really. And we have lost our culture, our values. So I wish, like, my parents had read Bhagavatam and, it had carried on, and we could carry on the values of, like, I still understood the word of Kanyadan. I know it is the most, important thing in our life. And I always said, I'm very fortunate to have 3 daughters. So, but it would be nice if the society, appreciates all these values. These are the lessons to be learned. That's why it is important to stay in touch with the Shastras and understand things. And the other 2 things, Prabhuji, you said, first reserve, then desire. So now I know where I'm failing. So to have a spiritual master, so I have to deserve it. So that's why it's not happening yet. So because I'm going to pray today to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to bless me, and so I can have a spiritual master. And the other thing, opportunity doesn't knock twice. That's another thing which, I can relate to in so many things. So yeah, it's important, the Shastras, how important they are. And unfortunately, I'm going to miss everybody's association today. So please pray for me as well. My Prabhu is not well. So I think it is better not to, because he's got flu-like symptoms. So I've cancelled my tickets. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, we pray that Prabhu.
Feeling sad. I'm sad that I'm not going to be there for Abhishek and, for the important day. So, but it's Krishna's wish. So I'm just accepting it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Sureshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I mean, everything has been said. Just I like to add something. Like there were in previous years, there were good relationship between the varnas and ashrams, because they recognize each other, the work and everything. But in Kali nowadays, there's no ashram, no varnas. And there were brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishya, sudras, brahmachari, grahastha, vanaspati, sannyas. They served and respected each other. They know where they were standing according to their qualification and knowledge, because Brahmans are different qualification. Kshatriya is a different qualification. And Brahmana is known by his qualities, not by birth. But a lot of people, they think that if you are born in a Brahman family, you are Brahman. But in Satyug and Treta, the Brahmanas were known by their qualification. Manu was a king, yet he married his daughter Kardamani, who lived in a hermitage while devotee lived in the palace. Because Kardamani was very knowledgeable and lover of all the Vedas and Shastras. And the purpose of the Vedas is to, Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Vedascha sarvar aham eva vedyo vedanta kad veda vid eva chaham. By all the Vedas, I am to be known indeed. I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of all the Vedas. People mostly deal with karma kand and worship in the Vedas and worship the demigod for sense gratification and forget the compiler of the Vedas, Krishna. If someone read Vedas and do not realize Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead, he's wasted his time. And if someone is realized Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, and haven't read the Vedas, that means he's more qualified. In Bhagavatam, all the rishis, munis, devotees realized Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. And that should be our realization as well, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. And our duty is to to save the Supreme Lord. And I was reading in the teaching of Lord Chaitanya, and I think that was very nice line, which I like to share. We were talking about desire previously, and it says that if you can't do devotional service, have a desire for devotional service. And if you have a desire, Krishna will make sure he'll fulfill your desire. And so the desire is very important. Whatever you desire, if you pray to Krishna, he will fulfill your desire. And so they were married to Kardamani, and Subhamani came. Because of his qualification, he wanted to get married to marry to his daughter. Because nowadays, even if you want to get married, you want to know the qualification of a person. That's the main thing. But some people, they don't see qualification; they just see the for money. If the people go in a fresh car, a nice house, you get married. They never mind about the qualification. But the qualification, because you have to live with the person, and qualification of the person make you happy or not happy. So that's why Samamani brought his daughter from the palace to the hermitage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Absolutely right. So that is just so wonderful. And there's like a lot of mention about associating with sadhus, and how beneficial it is to get their blessings, get their mercy. And so we're hoping that we start Sunday Sangha or Saturday Sangha. Just still, I think no 100% decided. So this is what we'd like to do. We want to get association of sadhus. I think we should be focusing on that. It's been a long time. Last 2 years, we missed the association of sadhus, the association of devotees, and we get mercy and blessings of the exalted devotees that we invite as well, and which will help us to advance. And let's focus on that, then everything goes well, and we can invite exalted people and get their blessings, move forward. That should be our resolve. So thank you all so much. unless somebody else has any other questions, we can go on to doing a couple of rounds. Okay.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Anji, okay, Mother, you want to start the first?
Yeah, I'm just thinking this is very good idea of this classes and everything in this corona yug, and we get bored if this is not activities done of these classes and all this knowledge of transcendental knowledge, very useful, and our mind becomes fresh, and we stayed safe. We feel very safe by taking the Krishna's and all these Rishi Muni's glories. So this is very good idea in this corona disturbance. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. In chapter 15, Bhagavad-Gita, is mentioned that Maya is very strong. It puts a lot of obstacles in our way. So Krishna has provided devotees for us. We can use the association to stay away from Maya. It's very, very important. Solitude is not recommended, especially in the Kali Yuga. Solitude is not recommended. Always stay in the association of devotees. That will protect our bhakti.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Could you please say something about Chitanya Mahaprabhu yourself or Seshwari Mataji? So just a few words about Chitanya Mahaprabhu, please.
Okay, I'll tell you a pastime very quickly.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
So Jagatnath Mishra and Sachi Mata's house, and Krishna is Lord Chaitanya is just a little baby at that time. He's probably crawling. So what happens? This Brahman comes to their house, and he's welcomed by the family. And like we're talking about association, so I thought this would be a very appropriate example. That they took the association of this exalted Brahman in their house, and they offered to make the cook for him, and for his he had a deity of Gopal as well, and they said, we will make boga. You can offer it to your deity Gopal, and please let us serve you that way. Brahman saying, no, it's okay. I can manage with fruits and roots. You know, he was very renounced. He was not bothered about, very extravagant food or anything. He says, fruits and roots will be fine. I can offer them to Gopal and take as prasad. But they insisted that please give us the opportunity to serve you. So they will get his blessings. They wanted to serve him. So in the end, the Brahman agreed. He says, okay, if that's what you want, I'm okay with that. You can cook. So Sachi Mata and her neighbors and a few other people were in the house. They all got together and cooked a feast for Gopal. Now, the Brahman was going to offer the feast to Gopal, but now it's like afternoon, and he's offering the feast to Gopal, and in his offering saying, Gopal, Gopal, aake khale, Gopal, aake khale. That's his way of offering, aake khale, Gopal. And as he was offering, he had his eyes closed, and then when he opened his eyes, he saw Mahaprabhu as a baby. He's taking the prasad. He's eating, and when the Brahman opened his eye, he just panicked. He says, oh no, what's happened here? And then Jagannath Mishra, he comes running in, what's happened? Says, now the food has been spoiled because the child has contaminated it, and I was trying to offer it to my deity. And they apologized a lot, said, so sorry, that I don't know how it's happened. He was not even in the room, or how it happened. We're really very sorry. Brahma says, okay, don't worry, just give me fruits and roots, and then I can offer to my deity. They felt really, really bad that this has happened. Said, please give us another opportunity to serve you. We will cook again, and this time we'll be more careful. Please give us opportunity. So they managed to convince the Brahman. He says, okay, cook again. Now it's like 6 o'clock, after all the preparations, and they probably had to go out and get stuff. They put the boga on the altar for Gopal, and now Gopal, Lord Chaitanya is in somewhere in the other room, somewhere away from all this. And then the Brahman is again offering, and Gopal, Gopal, Aake Khale, Gopal, Aake Khale, Gopal. Then he opened his eyes, and so from somewhere or other, Lord Chaitanya has again, as a baby, he's taking the offering. And now the Brahman is really upset. Now Jagannath Mishra is very, very angry. What's going on here? This is not good. And in fact, Jagannath Mishra, Sachiman, they all start crying that what's happening? We were not able to serve this exalted devotee. He came to a house and we cannot serve him properly. They started crying. But anyway, somehow or other, they managed to convince the Brahman again that please give us last chance and we will make sure that nothing goes wrong this time. Please, please, please give us a chance. He says, no, I'm happy with fruit and roots. Please just give me fruits and roots. I'm very hungry. He says, please just give us one more chance. We want to make an elaborate meal for you. So for the third time, they cooked, and now everybody was sleeping. They are all tired, gone to sleep. It's like nearly midnight, They all gone to sleep, and the Brahman is there. Gopal, Gopal, Aake Khale, Gopal. And he opens his eyes, and Lord Chaitanya, as a baby, Nimai, he's sleeping in the other room. And next thing you know, he's there taking the offering. The Brahman, he's like frustrated now. He goes, I don't know what's going on. Where does this baby keep coming from? And now, because everybody was sleeping, Mahaprabhu showed his real form. He said, you keep calling me. And then when I come, you get angry. Oh my God. The Brahman, he started, shouting and screaming with ecstasy. There's rice. He put the rice on his head, on his body. He just, he went all crazy. And he just woke up the whole family. And they quickly came in. What's happened? What's happened? But Lord Chaitanya told him that please don't reveal this secret to anyone. Please keep the secret to yourself, that I have showed my true root to you. So the Brahman couldn't say anything, but it seemed like he's going crazy. So that was a very sweet pastime by Gopal, by Lord Chaitanya, for this very, very exalted Brahman. So thank you so much. Okay, shall we do?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And he did so many other pastimes like this, but this is one on association of devotees. Thank you, Andari. Rukmini Mataji, would like to start the first round?
Yes, Prabhuji.
There you go.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shivasdi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,